What's up YouTube? My name's Quickie, welcome back to the channel. That's not the bit. That's not a very good start. This is the last frame brace that I need to put in. It's made out of that chunkier stuff and it goes down the bottom here, down there somewhere. So this bit is for the lower link on the rear suspension, and then we've got a couple of engine mounts to come off the same piece as well, hence it's a little bit chunkier I guess. We're not going to be having all this lot, all the centre stand and everything, so I can keep it quite minimal. Side stand only on this bike. So I need to cut a bit of this off, get him notched out and shoved in there, and then the whole thing's coming out, going on the bench, getting welded up and dressed up. That's what most of this week is going to be. So this one is just going to be a case of getting on with it basically. Not a lot of yap. Right. Right, that's it. The last brace is in then. I've still got to gusset bits and pieces and all that sort of stuff, but I'm going to do that later on. At the minute, it's still roasty toasty hot, because I've only just finished. And I haven't managed to get in there and weld all the back of this, just because it's awkward. I'd rather, I mean, it's all done on this side where I can easily get access to it. But I think I'm going to leave the other bit, because it ain't going to go anywhere, but I'll leave the other bit until I can get it up on the bench, and then it's just going to be easier doing it that way. So, plans now, I've still got about another hour in here. I need to have a massive tidy up. I also need to get that new compressor sorted in here, and he needs to go outside until I need him later on and chop him up and do all that other sort of stuff. So that's what I'm going to do next. I'll give this a chance to cool down a little bit, and then I can start doing all the finished welding and dressing up and everything else, which is basically what this week is going to be about. All this coping, I was a bit keen and eager getting through some of it, and I did trash one of my hole saws. I didn't oil it enough basically, so I will get a picture and show you, but there's no teeth left on it at all. So as far as coping goes, or tube notching if that's what you want to call it, slow and steady wins the race. Mental note to self, don't do it again or you'll be getting yourself yet another hole saw. Right, let's get tidied up. love this fabrication table. It's dead handy having somewhere that you can just spread stuff out and, you know, weld it up, and you're not battling for room at all. The only trouble is it flash rusts quick as anything. I think this is cold rolled. I'm sure it is. But I need to find some way of protecting it so it doesn't flash rust. I was tempted to do the blowtorch thing and the beeswax like Craig did, you know, on those little metal bits and doohickeys and whatnot, but this is a big lump of metal and my little blowtorch is never going to do it. Apart from that, it's basically flat. Putting that much heat into it, I think it's just going to make it warp because it's all tied in. So I need to come up with a way of protecting it where it's still bare metal so I can weld on it, but just to stop it flash rusting. Boiled linseed oil, is that even a thing? One of the fellas on the yard was saying, oh, that's what you want to do, boiled linseed oil. Well, trouble is, just tipping oil on it, which is what I'm doing at the minute, is fine, and it does sort of slow down the rusting and all that. However, as soon as you start grinding, all that dust gets in with the oil, turns into a paste, and it's a pain to get off. It really is. So, if anybody's got any good suggestions, I don't know, maybe the linseed oil thing would work. I really don't know. But if anybody's got any good suggestions, drop a comment, because, you know, I really don't want to mess this one up. Right, what's next? I lost a day. I lost the whole day. Basically, I had to do something for work. So, it's now Wednesday. Bloody hell. Are you going to fit in there? No, you're not. Why would you? Hey. Right. Ooh. So, back in here fitting this. I got one of these like pulley out jobby airlines and stuff. That one down there, you know, it serves a purpose, but those curly blue things, when you're using them, they just tangle themselves up. They're a nightmare. So, that blue bit is going to come up here, feed this, and I've got like 33 feet or something, which will basically reach anywhere in here. So that's what I'm going for. Where are you? What size? See that one? Could be that one actually. Sorted. We're not sorted, he's off the jig and he's on the bench. We've got a long way to go before he's sorted. So, I've got, today's Wednesday, I've got like a couple of hours in the mornings, sort of today, tomorrow, Friday, although today is getting on. And basically I want to get it all dressed up and stuff. All those blobby welds and everything else, I want to dress them right down, make it all look nice and presentable. And now I can start thinking about the gussets. I need to gusset in the, where we've got those two bits of tube that come in like that with the swing arm pivot point in the middle. Basically I want to straight line the outside edge. That'll give me like, I don't know, 40mm of gusset or something like that. Yeah, as far as depth goes on the same tube. So, you know, that shouldn't be too bad, I don't think. I don't think I'm going to be able to use tube to do it, because I'll end up with a dip like that. That wouldn't look very nice. Well, I don't know, it could do. But either way, it needs to be gusseted, and there's another one that needs to go up underneath the steering stem. So the original one did have a plate in there, like 3mm thick, so I need to try and replicate that. Now, I have been making stuff as well. You ain't seen it, but that's been sapping a truckload of time, and I've been making a bolster for the fly press. But if you don't know what a bolster is, I will show you. I'll put a picture up. But basically it bolts in the bottom and you can put all sorts of different tooling in top. And each of those rings you can take out and you can replace with a different tool. So it's quite handy. I've also been making a dimple die. I don't know why, I really like dimples. I will stick a dimple in it. It adds quite a lot of strength to it as well. Now, 3mm plate, I'm not sure the fly press is going to be up to it because it is only a little one, but I'll make a sleeve up for the dimple die, and if that doesn't work, I'm just going to shove it in the hydraulic press and stick 20 ton on it. That'll bend the bugger. Covered in bits. This thing, the angry bit in the die grinder, is very good for getting rid of material. However, it just turns it into shrapnel. If you look on the desk, it's all like really fine needles of metal. I do wear gloves when I'm using that, just because they stick in your hand, and when you do that, rub your hands or whatever, you're just embedding them in your skin. And they're a pain to get out. You just get hundreds of tiny little metal splinters that you spend ages fishing out. So I try not to wear gloves when I'm grinding, but in that case I definitely do. And all I'm doing is taking the worst of it off with this. You do have to sneak up on it though, that's what I'm finding. So take most of it off so it looks like you've got a curve that the end of that will fit into. And then it's just a case of nibbling away and chipping away with this and trying to smooth everything out. And then depending on where you are, it's either that one or that one. Just a DA, dual action sander. So these spin, but they also wobble randomly like that. And that's what gives you all these swirly stuff. But they're really good for like finding your sort of high points and your low points, and then you can have another go and try and dress them down. So that's literally all I'm doing. The trouble is it takes ages. It takes ages. So far, I think, over the last couple of days, I've been able to put, what is it now? About 6 hours? 6 hours. And all I've managed to get done is I've finished off these two bits down here, so they're nice. So that's where the frame joined the old one. Where the engine mounts go through, it's all been dressed up so you can't see the engine mounts on the outside because I wanted just a smooth frame. I've done that, the swing arm pivot point, dressed it all down. There is still a little bit of stuff to do on there, but I want to, I'm just trying to go for coverage at the minute. So, but this smooth look is what I'm looking for. I don't want to see welds. I want the whole thing to be smoothed out. I've took the back of it down to sort of like a profile because there is going to be a gusset. I'm not too bothered about getting the back of it dead smooth, but the front is going to have to be. And that's all I've managed to do in 6 hours. 6 hours. It is taking ages though, but it was always going to. I might as well put the time in now to get a really nice looking frame that is just all seamless and there's no blobby welds and all that sort of stuff. Because, you know, I'm not going to get the chance to do it again. Especially once it gets powder coated. There are some nadgery bits up here that I don't think I'm going to get into. But we'll dress them down as much as we can do. You're not going to see right up in the back there anyway, because that's going to be gusseted. I'm still toying with the idea of what to do with the sides, but I don't know, I'll figure that out. So that's kind of what I'm doing. It's looking all right so far, isn't it? Not too shabby. Right, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, Bob Hacking. He said in his message to me, I'm not a welder, but I know what I want. I think he's a tool maker from down under. But anyway, he sent me a picture of his bike and stuff. I will pop it up so you can see what's what. But it's a tidy looking bike. I do like that. He also sent me a picture of his current bike, which I'm not too keen on, if I'm honest. There's too many wheels on it for a start. But you know, each to his own. As long as he ends the day with a grin on his face, who cares? But there's quite a few people that's chipping in and sending me pictures of their bike. So if you've got one on the go, a project, I don't really care what state it's in. I quite like it when it's like this because you can see all the work that's going into it. But if you have got a picture, send it in and I'll stick it up just so other people can see what you're up to, basically. But anyway, so like I say, today's Friday, I'm back in tomorrow, just so I can carry on with this. But I am going to do another video which will be out during the week, and that's going to explain all the plans for this. I've been thinking about it, and what I want to do is any bike that I do, I want to stick it around a track. ASBO up to this point has just been a test bed. So we've got different suspension, front and rear. It's got a different swing arm. It's a homemade front. You know, there's a lot going on, and I need to test it. And I need to make sure it's okay, because otherwise I'm not parting with it. I'm not going to, you know, sell a bike on or whatever I do with it if it's not up to par, basically. So he needs properly tested. That does come with a few issues, but I'll go over all that in the next video. Be interested to hear what you think, actually, because in my head it makes sense to do it this way. But if you've got a better idea, shout up. Now's the time, basically. And hopefully that video will lay out all the plans for the next few months on this. That's what I'm hoping anyway. But that's where I'm leaving it today. Thank you ever so much for watching. Do hope you're well and staying safe. We'll see you on the next one. Laters!